The meek shall inherit the earth. What does that mean? Oh no, it's not the weak, the meek. We're going to talk about the Great Retreat. Now, I talked about how light workers are stepping back, and what that really means. It's not quitting. In fact, it's become more powerful. There is a game here going on. I want to remind you of that, but so many, those in the density, that is not an insult. It's just a state of being. It's part of the game. Choices, that's all. Not to be judged. But those in that space, well, they believe that this is all there is. There is a great pullback, a retreat going on. I'm going to talk more about that in this video because I want you to know that this is going to be a huge choice for you to make. And I want you to look at what's going on out there and focus on the most important things, is to not go into the separation, the blame, and the side taking. That is not the answer. There is no right nor wrong. That's when you go into the light worker, meek state of mind. And what I will explain all of that right now. Yeah, let's just go into it. Let's go. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an amazing life. So, every once in a while somebody says, oh, you're promoting. Yes, that's what I do for a living. Everything I do for a living, every book I write, every course I offer, everything I do is placing passion, purpose, and positive impact first. In fact, those are the cornerstones to digital explorers. I'm helping people to become light workers, to be change makers in the way that they choose, that's going to have a huge impact on the planet. So my question to you is, what do you do for a living? If you placed those three pillars first, you could change your life and others, and yes, earn money doing it. We live in a society that requires you to have money to pay your bills. So until that goes away, let's earn it in a way that's powerful and positive, and share it. So here's another promotion. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. It is a message. Well, if you like the video, if you like my channel, the message is to the algorithms, to AI, we like these positive messages. We want more. So when you subscribe, you help shift the game. The frequency shifts. And that's a fact. All right? Now, so let's talk about the game we're playing right now. I had a downloaded book. I was told at crazy hours in my clairaudience, you have this also, you just have to start listening, that this book had to come out now. And I actually have never read the book. I know when I wrote it, what I said, it's stuff that I actually know, but if you read the book, you know that it is expansive and the book itself holds actual energy and power. So if you haven't read it, I suggest that you do, because it was something to be shared with everyone, because it could actually shift you into a different state of thinking that makes you realize how much more, let's just say, powerful you are, and that this is an actual game, albeit a very real one. I mean, what we experience right now, it's not very pleasant all the time. Now I want to talk about that. When I say light workers, I don't like separating people as being better or more enlightened, but however, it is a role. So when light workers come down, the game is being played, right? The game is being played by all the energy fields that are choosing to come here and play the game, to experience being individual human bodies that are separate, living out density, and then the challenge is, what are your choices within the Matrix game? The Matrix isn't a prison. Nobody put you here. It's a, you're being held against your will. No, you have free will. You came here to forget that massive, beautiful space that we all are. We are all equal, but that gets boring. So when you come down here into this space, you get challenged. You get to experience the contrast of all things, and then you know that that glorious space that we all are and come from, it becomes so much more powerful and clear because you've been in the darkest space to know that. It's just experience, and of course, the challenge of the response. Now, I want you to remember that, because we see others as enemies. Light workers have come here. We use the term light workers, people that came in a less dense state. I want to clarify that. They're not better people, or, oh, the poor human beings, I'm going to lead the way. No, they came here in a less dense state. They actually knew much more with less veils when they came here, all right? Purposefully, because we were going in a very negative direction, and so to even out the game, it's allowed. It's only allowed if you come and play the game. So other forces that are not in the game cannot interfere with us. They have to play the game, because you can't play the game unless you're entrenched in the density. I shared with you, Christ was entrenched in the density. He had to become a human being in a low density to be able to prove that you can come out of that you can rise above and raise the frequency within that. That's the game. He had to prove that no matter how bad it gets here in this material world that seems so, like, let's just say final, this is it, this is all there is. He had to prove that this isn't all there is, and that no matter how painful it is, you can always choose light, the highest frequency, compassion and love, no matter what. These things you do to the least of us, you do to me. So in other words, he was showing we're one energy field, we're one beautiful thing. And so if I do something to this that I call as wrong or bad, I'm doing it to me. I'm doing it to myself. I'm doing it to you. So when we get that in our head, we have to drop the lines of separation. Now here's where it gets tricky. Light beings have come here to even out, and yes, to shine some light, because it got very skewed. So they had to play the game. Now, if you're playing the game on a let's just say less dense level, coming here in a less dense level, you probably came here knowing things. Your parents probably knew, I have to put my fan on. Your parents probably knew you were different. You always knew you were different. My mom used to say, I don't know who you are. Somebody dropped you off in a basket on our porch. She did, she used to say that. She goes, I don't know who you are. You're not from this family. And I knew I wasn't. And I was different, and I am different, and you may feel that. So there's quite a few out there, millions. Now, so we get the challenge, even though we know what we are, and we know that we aren't this, and we know this is an illusion, it's so temporary. I always say, how much time do I have to put my time in? How much longer do I have to, do my duty? And I had a being, actually, in the little theta state one night when I transitioned into this whole role, actually meet with me. I was in what I call the Crystal City. Beautiful place. I've been there before. I've been there many times in dream state. And it looks very Roman. It's lit up. It's beautiful. It has pathways. People walk around. They're studying. They're doing all kinds of really cool stuff with energy. And so I did have a higher being. I don't know who he is to me, but he's definitely somebody that I'm very, let's just say he's part of my team, asked me, why did I come down here to be with us? Why did you come down here to be with us? And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. And so I touched his robe, and he turned me around, and he showed me just a whole mountainside. And it looked like ants, but there were people just walking in density, He showed me just millions and millions of people walking, and they were totally unaware of us. We are in a completely different plane, a different level, and I got to see them right there. They were unaware of us. There are dimensions here existing right now with us, unaware of us, and vice versa. When I touched his robe, I felt the unconditional love. It's beyond the word love. It was beyond anything I have ever felt. You can't explain it to anyone. It's a oneness that you look at these people and you have nothing but unconditional, beautiful love, no matter who and what they are. And then I woke up and went, crap! Now I have to get to work. I had a spontaneous healing on my foot. I quit investment banking. I learned online businesses. I launched, and then I realized it's no different here. People are chasing money. I have to create something I really care about. I started writing my books. I got a movie, and I'm here to serve you. And through that, I serve me, because you and I are one. So what happens when that force of light workers meant to shift the planet? It's allowing others to make a higher choice. Light workers don't come here to impose, but I want to tell you what's going on now as opposed to what happened before. There were higher beings, let's just say more advanced souls coming here, who would actually go out and teach. Christ was one. So Christ would go out and he would actually go and talk to people and make them aware of this whole other way of seeing things and existing. He studied all the higher teachings of others. He was doing things that the Bible hasn't included, but we are finding out now. That was a different way because we were in such a deep, dark, dense state. People got burned at the stake, right, for the simplest things. But that has changed. Now, because we're open to spirituality, we're open to what's really different. We're open to holistic healing. We're open to the fact that we have neighbors out there. Why wouldn't we? Only density would believe that we're alone. That's insane, right? But not if you're dense. That makes perfect sense. So we can't make fun of that. It's very disheartening, though, as you know, when you get attacked. But you gotta stick to your guns, as I am. But here's what I'm doing, as are other light workers. We're taking what I call a retreat. Now, I mentioned this in the other video, but I'm going to tell you why we're doing this. How we're changing the planet is very different to what Christ did. We're not walking around doing groups. Now, there will be people, there will be retreats and things like that going on. But as light workers, the most powerful place that we can be is we are becoming demonstrations. Now, we're always going to give the information and the guidance and shine the light for those who come here, all right? But we are now forming the new world because we are to a point where all that information is available, it's there, the light is being shined on others, and if they take it, great. If not, we're creating the new earth. It is a choice now. So it's not density, people that are dense that aren't aware of this. They're aware. So the awareness is here now. Before, the awareness wasn't there. Nobody had any clue that there was anything beyond. They feared God, and there was the sun god, and they sacrificed people. We're so way past that, right? We know we can heal ourselves. We know we are actually the very power that creates everything. Some people still struggle with that. That's okay, because you're still a human being, and you're coming from that mindset. So the retreat of the light workers is now. We are not taking sides. I want you to remember, this is so important. We're not taking sides, and there is no right nor wrong. Now, I got very disheartened by a video I did. Actually, it was a harmless video showing it was actually debris from Falcon 9. I didn't know that, but I knew it was something. And the comments were so insulting, and it's disheartening because there's so much meanness out there. So here's what we're doing. I'm stepping away from it. Dalai Lama says, if you're around negative energy, walk away. You are not here to argue, to change, to shame. I just explained to them, I actually responded to some of these things, and I said, that's actually, I found out, a SpaceX satellite program that's going on. It's the Starlink satellites, and those look like UFOs. I always try to debunk everything, my own stuff. But I knew it wasn't a UFO. I just knew it was something. It's the debris coming off of, upon re-entry, it disintegrates. They don't try to land it. They let it disintegrate, and that's what was coming off. I'm here in Florida. We get to see that stuff. people will still go into a space where they have to point fingers, shame, make fun. Those are the most dense forms of source. Why do I say that? Because they feel like they have to separate, make fun, to feel superior. All right, so those are the most insecure people, are the ones that have to make fun. You're an easy target. The meek are an easy target. No, we aren't weak. The meek are going to stay strong in the space that we will not attack, we will not separate, we will not go into finger pointing or blame. The meek don't go there. That's powerful. All right? The weak will be the spiritual realms of people that want to do good things. They're studying all this stuff, but they're still separating, and they will say, they're evil, they're nasty, they're doing this. But they do it in a way without compassion or love, and they do it in separation. That's weakness. I want you to remember the difference. The meek shall inherit the earth. Now, I believe the meek shall inherit the earth started back when I believe there was probably Mars inhabited, and I do believe there are people here, energy fields that came here that inherited the earth. I believe there's another meaning to that. The meek, the ones that survived the horrific things that went on there, the battle for that planet, I think inherited the earth. Now, that's another video I did. Just fun stuff to play with. Doesn't mean it's right or wrong. I do have memories of that, by the way. Maybe you do. But now see, me saying this, what are your thoughts? Oh, she was okay. I approved of her until she went into that cray-cray space. You know what I say about that? Shut your pie hole. No, please speak freely. But we don't have to go into a disagreement. Yes, I'm right, you're wrong. Let's just discuss things. Let's explore it. Oh, really? That's a possibility. If you believe it and you know it, then it's true. The meek, the light workers, are retreating from the old style teachings of enlightening others. They are being demonstrations and creating something that dense beings, choices to be dense, to experience that. Some people come here to experience density, are our best teachers. It's not wrong. It is an experience. It's just not nice to be here and be around it. It's getting very, very challenging. All right? So the meek are going to use all their powers and intelligence not to become affected by that in a negative way, but to step away from it and create that new existence, that new frequency, that new way of living. And this over here is welcome, but you can't get to the penthouse unless you come up these floors, right? You can't experience the penthouse down here. You have to raise your frequency, going into awakening, enlightenment, and you are welcome. That's what's going on. That's it. It's that simple. And so you can't get there, because if you come in there and you're pointing fingers or that's not enlightenment. That's not congruent with that frequency. So, like myself, watching the people on the mountainside, they'll be totally unaware that you exist. Higher frequency beings won't even be aware that you exist. You can talk to the hand. And when you go into the frequency, oh, you're welcome here. You're just dialing in. So I don't hear rock and roll right now. I'm dialed into classical. It's going on. It's over there. It's blasting. And it says, I want to hear classical. Well, dial into it. Dial in it. There it is. That's it. And you get to choose it. The meek are inheriting the earth. And so if you stick to your guns long enough and you don't go into blame, anger, separation, Eventually you will see a transition that's so beautiful. I've actually seen it with some people out there that I've had to deal with. I just stepped back. I saw some, maybe other people might say, injustices, and I stepped back and I thought, I'm never going to go into the anger or whatever. I don't know why they're doing what they're doing. It's never really about me. It's about their own insecurities or anger or fears or whatever it is, power, control. So I stepped back. And it was funny how things played out. It played out, the cause and effect was not very nice for them, but I wasn't involved in anything negative toward them because of their actions. This is what's going to happen. Step back, be the meek, not the weak. Be the meek. You don't have to tell anybody they're wrong. You don't have to get up on your soapbox. They're doing this, just observe. Observe. If you guys who are in my courses, that's one of the top things. I'm going to start going through those. The first thing is, where's my fear coming from? Where are those negative feelings coming from? It's not what somebody did to me. It was the choice I made about what they did to me. And so we look at the root, and it's always something else, and someone else, and someone else. It's been passed down, and we have to break that chain. The meek are now creating. They're observing. They're not reacting anymore. Oh, there's the Black Ops helicopter. Yes, I'm joking, okay? Are you ready to go into that space? Now, you know, breakthrough fear. Here's my promotion. Breakthrough fear is changing lives. That's the book that was channeled by me, and it is powerful and explains how simple this is. It's just so simple. And when you go into that space, you stop asking questions. I call it the knowing. I talk about the tipping point. That's what we're in right now. We've gone over. We're going into an era of spirituality that's going to be so beautiful, and I want you to know you can explore it and do things you never imagined possible because you are that power. Yes, even in this body, we have the self-imposed limitations, and we're going to enjoy those too. What is it like to be limited? What's it like to die, to have an ending? What's it like to fear or be sad? Experience it, observe it, but don't allow it to control you. You break through the fear. You know, we use it. Fear motivates you. Yeah, it can. So are you ready to do that? Subscribe now. Digital Explorers is a planet-conscious training system. Anything you've ever wanted to do that people told you you couldn't earn money for it, doing it, we're doing it here. And it's so much fun. We're creating multiple income streams around what you love. And the whole focus is, what's your passion? And we find it, then we find the multiple income streams. And then I build a actual real business strategy. I'm a former investment banker. We're not going into woo-woo. Oh, let's meditate and hope it appears. No, we build an actual plan. How am I going to earn money with this? Because I got to pay my bills. It gets you away from the stuff that's making you sick or unhappy. You know it's not right. So we're creating actual businesses. We're going to have events. We're going to do really cool stuff. Our conversations are so just amazing, and the people coming into this training are beautiful, and so are you. So if that's of interest to you, if you're an entrepreneur, if you've always wanted to do something, make a change on this planet, but you got to pay your bills, let's do it. All right, so down in the description is my link for Blue Land products. They are non-toxic and they have no plastic. I clean my counters, my dishes, my clothes, my toilet, my surfaces, everything. My hand soap, all of it is Blue Land. All right? I also have an Amazon store down there, and I only promote things that have no chemicals, including my shampoos, conditioners. I don't put anything on my skin except for cocoa butter and organic coconut oil that I mix together. That's only if my skin gets dry. Otherwise, don't put toxins on. You'll start to come out of, this is a fact. It can, all those toxins can depress you and kill your motivation. That's the physical thing. So let's clean it up. So if you're interested in those products, they're actually cheaper than the toxic stuff. Let's make a statement to the world. We won't buy that stuff. If you go into business and you do it, and God forbid how this has ever been allowed, right? Right? Density, money, power. Oh, money. Kill a few million acres of land. What do we care? We'll be out of here. We got to stop it by taking positive action. The meek shall inherit the earth. We're not fighting anybody. We're just making higher purchases. And they're going to have to change or go out of business. That's the power you wield. That's the movement that is so peaceful. Yes, and it takes no stress whatsoever. No arguments, no side taking. You just start to live in it. And I invite you to live there, my friend. You ready to go there? It's happening now. And we're going to experience, doesn't mean you stop seeing the stuff out there. It actually becomes more difficult to see it because you know it can be changed. But you know those are choices that I don't understand, that somebody needs to and is allowed to go through. I'm not going to judge that. I don't know their story. I don't know their path. I don't know what they chose to experience. It all has divine purpose. So never forget that. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.